Hey guys, it's me, Pamela, and welcome back to another episode of Pamela Fear Not. So today's recipe is going to focus on something I've never made before, and it's going to be a hollandaise sauce. But not only is it a hollandaise sauce, it's a yogurt hollandaise sauce because I don't have any butter, but I always have yogurt. And to go with our hollandaise sauce, we're going to have my 2-ingredient biscuits, which is what we're going to start with first, and then we're going to poach some eggs, and then we're going to make our hollandaise sauce. So stick around if you want to see how I make this recipe. The ingredients for the biscuits are self-rising flour and yogurt, plain yogurt. You can add in a third ingredient, which I did, which is garlic powder. I love garlic powder and everything. But basically, it's going to be 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. You're going to make a little well in the middle and add in 1 1/4 cups of yogurt. And you're going to mix it together. Don't forget to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. And you're basically just going to mix until a nice ball has formed. It's not going to be super sticky per se, but it's definitely a soft dough. Now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of self-rising flour, and I'm going to do a little bit of light kneading. I'm not pushing down a whole lot because I want this to still stay fluffy, but I just wanted the dough to be a little bit smoother than it was when I was just mixing it together to form the dough ball. So now I've placed my ball of dough on a lightly floured piece of parchment paper. I've also floured my rolling pin, and I'm going to roll this out maybe to about 1/4 or 1/2 inch. I definitely don't want this too thin, but I want to make a decent number of biscuits from this, so I also don't want it too thick either. So I'm going to roll this out, and then I'm going to use a wine glass to cut my circles out. I put a little flour around the rim of my wine glass so it wouldn't stick too much, and I'm just going to press down to make the circles. A tip I had learned from reading regular biscuits or southern biscuit recipes is to not twist the wine glass when you're making your cutouts. So just push down, and then it should be enough to where you can pull away the dough, the scraps, to expose the circles. Gather up the scraps and reform a soft ball, and then roll it out again so you can cut out some more. In other dough recipes, I've read that it's really better to let the scraps rest. Otherwise, it's going to be not the same as the first batch of things that you have cut out. But I find that with this recipe, I didn't need to let the scraps rest. They still came together fine. So I'm going to keep repeating this until I've used up pretty much all of my dough. And we'll have, I believe, about 6 or 7 biscuits from this recipe. I had enough scraps left over for one more little mini biscuit, so I used a little plastic shot glass that I had. I want my biscuits to have that nice golden brown color on top, so I'm just going to do a little egg wash. I'm just going to crack open 1 egg, and mix it together with a spoon. A lot of people use forks, but I don't see what's wrong with a spoon. I have more spoons than forks anyways in my kitchen. So I'm going to whisk it all together with my spoon. I have enough things to wash, so I didn't feel like looking for my brush. So I'm just dipping my fingers in and I'm just coating or rubbing the tops of all my biscuits with the egg. And then I'm going to place it in the oven that I've already preheated to 450. And I initially baked it for 11 minutes, but then I added 2 more. So mine were done in about 13 minutes. And I'm going to link the recipes that I more or less followed in my description box. So be sure to check that out. While the biscuits are baking in our oven, we're going to work on our hollandaise. So I've already started boiling some water, which I will reduce down to a simmer on my stove. But in my mixing bowl, that's going to be heat proof, I'm going to put in about 3/4 cup of yogurts, and I'm going to do 2 yolks, and then I'm going to start adding some seasoning. I don't have any lemon juice, so that's the one typical ingredient that I did not put in, but I have some white pepper, a little bit of paprika, and salt, and some dried dill weed. Now that my water is boiling, I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, and I'm going to put in my bowl that I have all of my hollandaise ingredients in on top. And because I know it's going to get hot, I'm going to use a little pot holder, and I'm just going to start whisking. And you got to do this fast, otherwise your eggs are going to become scrambled eggs. So this is going to take a couple of minutes or a few minutes. I forgot to time myself. But basically, it's going to eventually thicken up. So that's what you want. And like I said, this takes a minute. So just be patient. When you think you want to give up, it will come together. I promise. By the time my hollandaise was done, my biscuits were also done. So I took them out. And so now we're going to poach some eggs. Just added some more water into the pot that I used to simmer water in for the hollandaise. And we're not going to wait for the water to boil. We're actually going to keep it underneath the boiling point. But once it's hot enough, I'm going to carefully add in my egg. And the technique that I use, that's probably not correct, but it works for me, is I use a wooden spoon and I basically chase the egg inside of the pot. So basically I'm making like a little tornado, and I do this the entire time until the egg whites have cooked. All right, guys, here we have our finished product. I am so excited to eat this. I just finished it off with a little bit of my paprika, and I grow green onions in my garden, so I was able to snip some off to throw in some more color. And this really didn't take that long. Of course, it took longer for me since I was filming, and I kind of messed up the eggs. One of my eggs busted when I was trying to get it out. But if you were to do this, I would say maximum 30 minutes. So I'm going to cut in. There's the yolks. I'm going to cut it outside. There he goes. Oh, I love runny eggs. Oh, the hollandaise is so creamy. Oh my god. Like, I don't miss butter hollandaise at all. This is so good. And the biscuits, even though they're not your super buttery, flaky biscuit, they definitely serve its purpose. I'm just gonna keep eating this. Oh my goodness, this is like the best thing ever. And it looks so pretty too. Tastes good and it's pretty. Okay guys, so I hope you try this. It's definitely worth it. And please check out my description box. It'll have some links in there. And I hope you give this a try. I hope you guys stay safe and experiment some with cooking. And I hope you check out my other videos. Please subscribe if you like these videos. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye y'all. Stay safe.